Have you ever heard of a man who changed the way basketball was played, not with brute strength, but with elegance, creativity, and a sense of flair that made the court his stage? That man is Bob Cousy, born in 1928 to poor French immigrants. In New York City, Cousy grew up during the Great Depression. He didn't speak English until he entered school, and like so many kids in the city, he fell in love with sports in the street: stickball, handball, and eventually basketball. But greatness didn't come easy. In high school, Cousy was cut from the team not once, but twice. A broken hand forced him to train with his offhand, a moment that would unknowingly make him ambidextrous and ultimately elevate his play to legendary levels. That injury, in hindsight, may have been the best thing that ever happened to him. Cousy's real break came at the College of the Holy Cross, where he dazzled crowds with his unconventional play. In an era of slow, methodical basketball, Cousy moved like jazz, unpredictable, rhythmic, and impossible to ignore. No-look passes, behind-the-back dribbles. During fast breaks, he wasn't just playing the game, he was reinventing it. And while his flashy style rubbed some coaches the wrong way at first, there was no denying his talent. By his senior year, he was a consensus All-American and one of the top players in the country. When it came time to go pro in 1950, the Boston Celtics had the first pick and a golden opportunity to draft the local star, but in a decision that's become infamous in NBA lore, Coach Reda Werboff passed on Cousy. He said, "Am I supposed to win games or please the local yokels?" Cousy was eventually picked up by the Celtics after a series of trades and dispersals, and as fate would have it, he'd become the very cornerstone of their future dynasty. With Cousy running the point, the Celtics transformed from a struggling franchise to a powerhouse. His flashy passes and court vision earned him the nickname the Houdini of the hardwood. He led the NBA in assists for 8 straight seasons, the first to reach 4,000, then 5,000, then 6,000 career assists. He wasn't just a stat machine, he was a showman. The Garden filled up to see what Cousy would do next. He was also a winner. Partnered with legends like Bill Russell and Bill Sharman, Cousy helped usher in the Celtics dynasty, winning 6 NBA championships. He was the league MVP in 1957 and a 13-time All-Star. But perhaps his most important contribution came off the court. In an era where NBA players had no health benefits, no pension, and minimal pay, Cousy founded the National Basketball Players Association, the first players' union in professional American sports. As its first president, he fought for better conditions and fairer treatment for players across the league. He wasn't just changing the game on the floor, he was shaping the league's future behind the scenes. Despite his legendary career, Cousy remained deeply human. He stood up against racism when it wasn't fashionable to do so. In a segregated South, he chose to room and travel with teammate Chuck Cooper, the NBA's first black player, rather than accept the comfort of a whites-only hotel. He formed a strong bond with Bill Russell, empathizing with the racism his teammate endured. These weren't PR moves. They were deeply personal, shaped by his childhood in a multicultural New York City neighborhood.
Owners meeting in 1950 and says, the Celtics draft Chuck Cooper from Duquesne. Chuck has different color hair, different color eyes, and yeah, there's a little tint. I mean, I saw Chuck Cooper as a 6'7" basketball player from Duquesne, not as a black basketball player. I really didn't. I guess I was naive, but I hadn't been exposed to people of color. And we bonded.
After retiring in 1963, Cousy transitioned to coaching, first at Boston College and later in the NBA with the Cincinnati Royals. He even made a brief comeback as a player at age 41, suiting up for a handful of games. He wasn't trying to be a hero, he was simply answering the call of competition. In 1971, Cousy was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. His number 14 was the first to be retired by the Celtics. Over the decades, he's remained a respected figure in the basketball world. His accolades include being named to the NBA's 25th 35th, 50th, and 75th anniversary teams, one of only 4 players to achieve that. In 2019, he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, recognizing not just his impact on sports, but on American culture. Today, Cousy stands as a living bridge between the gritty early years of the NBA and the global game we know now. He didn't just play basketball, he elevated it. He made passing beautiful, he made playmaking into poetry, and he showed generations of guards that you didn't have to be the tallest or strongest to dominate. You just needed vision, courage, and a little magic. If you enjoyed this story of a true basketball pioneer, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment below on who you'd like to see next, and as always, thank you for watching.